Hey, happy 2020, everybody. I really been I started falling a little bit behind during the Christmas break, and so I've been playing catch up just to at least get these videos done. I have made the decision to go ahead and on this New Year's Day, you were watching footage from what I did yesterday. So as a constant now, I will be doing this as a daily vlog. So my Wednesday workouts you'll see Thursday. Thursday you'll see Friday. There's a chance that I may or may not get some content out. Um, Actually, I don't want to use that excuse. I'm gonna get a video out every day. Um, it's another kind of just interval day inside training session. Now, while the footage of today's ride might not be so enticing, the actual workout is pretty fun. And so instead of just focusing on me riding on the bike, today I wanted to talk real quick about why I ride the bike. I ride because it's awesome, for one. I think I've always ridden a bike since I was a kid. And when I was a macho 20-something year old, I started watching the Tour de France. A Navy friend of mine kind of introduced me to the Tour de France, and I think it was probably the first year that Lance Armstrong rode in the Tour. And I guess I don't know, I was very interested, but I think, if anything, I was intimidated. The Lycra wearing, I don't know, it just seemed dainty, I guess. And I thought I was just a hard, tough guy that, got on a mountain bike and ride hard in the dirt, on the rocks, and down mountains. Anyway, so, getting shorter, I was at my last duty station down in Corpus Christi, Texas, for 2 years, and I was just dealing with some injuries with my wrists, and just so I couldn't lift weights, and I was having some running injuries with my calves, so I couldn't even run if I tried. I think I've always tried to run, but anyway, this is about biking, and I couldn't. I bought a bike when I was in Corpus Christi so that I could have some sort of exercise. I knew that I was gaining weight, and something was just off in my, I think I had always maybe exercised. All the exercise that I knew how to do, I couldn't do anymore. My wrists and ankles and even my lower back was hurting. So I was just looking for something to do to keep me active. And then I dropped off completely. I bought a bike. I was all into it. I don't know, I started riding. I probably got, I think, up to almost 20 miles at that point. And, but I'd be wrecked after that. I'd be just dead. And, so then I would ride occasionally, and I don't know, maybe every 6 months, I had this really nice bike, and I would hardly ever ride it. But I was on a lot of medication at that time when I first retired from the Navy. I was on quite a few meds. And then I started studying psychology in college. And right around that same time, when I'm taking some neuroscience classes, my wife kind of had just made a suggestion about trying to get off medication for my depression and anxiety and PTSD and for sleeping. I was on just tons of medication. And just try to just do something different, try to live with it. And I was like, I am living with it, but I guess there was this other part of me that understood what she was saying. And it made sense because of all the things that I was learning on just the chemicals in my brain that could be released during endurance activities. when I speak of endurance, it doesn't have to be more than like 30 minutes. Like 30 minutes and over of a physical activity where your heart rate is elevated is definitely endurance. And I just started realizing that those two components, like I would go for a ride and I would come back and I would feel awesome. I was like, oh, I feel really good. I actually feel better than what I would feel like if I was taking the medication. And so that started negating the reason for me to even take the medication. I thought, well, if I can produce these chemicals in my brain by riding a bike, I'd much rather do that and feel the way that I felt when I was done than to be on a medication to never feel that way. So I started riding more frequently, and then we made a big move after I graduated college. We uplifted our family and moved to Colorado. And one of the things I told myself was, and to my wife, I said, I'm going to become a better cyclist. I'm going to learn how to climb big mountains. At the time, I weighed 275 pounds, and I began to climb, and I didn't get very far the first few times, but I kept at it, and I kept with a consistency. And there was something, so it didn't matter how hard it was to lug myself up the mountain. The exhilarating downhill was worth it every time. And then I started realizing, instead of just like sucking wind, I got better and stronger, and I was able to like start taking in the views. And that became just another reason to get out and ride the bike and to be a part of that. And so it's all just been this compounding growth of a passion. And it didn't start out super passionate, but now I've realized how just that one thing, cycling, has transformed my entire life. And it's led me to where I am today in triathlon. On a trainer in my basement on New Year's Eve. And it's amazing, and it has led me to incredible places. It's enabled me to wean myself completely off of pharmaceutical medication. I live my life through sport, and I take things as they come to me and deal with them, and I've learned to do all that through the bicycle. And if I can do that, my thought is that there's probably somebody else out there who, if they just want to change just a little bit, try some endurance sport. I'd love for you to come into triathlon and join this community that I think is really cool. I haven't even got to a race yet, and just the atmosphere. I've been to the races that I've signed up for. I just didn't compete. And the atmosphere is great, and I see people helping each other, and people are kind, and they're willing to help, and they're outgoing, and most people are just challenging themselves. All right, here we go. Number 5. Ha! Let's go! To do something different. And that's helped me immensely in developing where I am now, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually even. And I really hope that somebody out there, that you're listening and or watching and listening and watching, and give it a try. Go out there, take that first step, and I'll see you on the other side of fear. Happy New Year, happy 2020. I'll see you tomorrow.